Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone today with Debbie Garcia. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Can you hear
Good
me?
morning, Kathy. I am fabulous and I'm excited to be here. I can. I am super excited to be here.
Well, I'm
Beautiful to be here.
excited
Good
because
morning.
I can't wait to learn more about you. I get to watch you a lot on Facebook, and I think you're amazing, amazing energy, amazing. You're really a good interviewer, and you add so much energy and enthusiasm to everyone that you interview. It's really fun to watch. But I want to know more about you. I mean, what is spirituality gone wild? How did you come up with that?
Kathy, I love your question. Oh my God. So that happened because all right, I'm having this great conversation with a friend of mine named Bob Miller, and Bob's no longer with us. And this is about 4 years ago. Gosh, maybe even five now. And we're talking, and I'm like, during this consciousness and this awakening, and like we're into everything, and we're talking about aliens and angels and quantum jumping and all of these things. And I'm like, dear golly, it's like spirituality's gone wild, wild, wild west, and I stopped for a minute and I said, wait a minute. And he said, Debbie, you are spirituality gone wild. And I said, well, I don't know that I am, but I certainly feel like that as we're branching out and exploring all of the grand possibilities in this world, that it is definitely the wild, wild west of different perspectives and belief systems. But after I said that, then I started getting spirit started downloading visions of a platform where other people who were doing really great work could be seen. And let me interject something, Kathy. When I said this, I refused to go on video. I refused to be seen on video. I had not the
Really?
self-confidence, even for a second. No, I don't. I don't have professional training and interviewing. I just love talking to people and I love sharing. But when I first said this, I wasn't willing to go on, and I was doing blog talk radio. I was hiding behind a microphone and not coming out and sharing and being me. So I think that's important because on this journey, this has required me stepping fully into a sacred yes and being willing to come on camera and just be myself.
Yep.
And it's definitely a blast. But I think it's important to realize that, like, even when I said the spirituality gone wild, and even when spirit's showing me, I'm going, you're nuts, man. I'm not going on live. I'm not going on video. I'm not doing that. I don't know why you're suggesting this. This is not even going to happen.
I'm laughing because the same thing happened to me. I got the download to do this. I had even done the numerology for the name of it, and I didn't pull the trigger. And it was like a kick in the butt. And I have no training either. I'm just curious and love people and want to learn. So I'm in the same boat, and I wanted to learn more about you. So perfect. So that's what I love about what you do. It's so real. It's not the newscaster kind of thing. It's messy and fun, fun.
I love you.
Oh,
Okay, because life is messy, Kathy, because real life isn't, listen, it's great to think that we're going to walk around being spiritual gurus. But that's not reality.
right.
Reality is that we are not, yes, we're here having this human experience. We're spiritual beings. Yes, I realize that. But the key component here is the human experience and how that we're managing that and how that we're sharing each other's tools. So first, I want to say that I love that you stepped forward onto your platform and that you're doing this rock star. That's how rock star warriors are doing it, girl. So there, in fact, you are a rock star warrior goddess.
Oh, well, I have had more fun, and there's so much more energy to it than a lot of the other things. I teach a lot, and this has been really amazing. And And what's fun is that there's a bunch of us that heeded the call. I mean, we're all, when you say spirituality gone wild, I've been doing this work. I had a white light experience 15 years ago. And then it's sort of like, okay, what do I do with this? How do I be a bridge from this to the, to the other? And that's what you're doing. You're bringing light to all of those wonderful people that also are bridges or have the vital key puzzle piece, right?
Yeah.
So how do you find most of the
Yeah,
people? How do you find
how do
most
I
of the
find that? Oh, well,
people?
that's a great, sure. Well, I have different experiences. I have been scrolling Facebook and saw somebody who was just, I was like, oh my God, I love your post. I have Spirit's given me this knack for finding talent. And I mean, like, seriously, like, I just see it and I know. Dave
Yeah.
Vargas is a really good example of that. Another one, Jay Rothman, another great example. It's just like, I just knew. But when I find the people who come on and the speakers, it's the same thing. I'll see somebody doing great work and I'll be like, oh my God, I dig you. I also get a lot of people asking me. So now I have a form people can fill out and they
Oh,
just fill
cool.
that out and then I just schedule them now and bring them on. Everybody's doing so much great work, but you said something very, very key here. You said everybody's giving their piece, their nugget of what tool are you sharing? And by doing this and us all coming together, we're sharing these little tips and tools and whatnot with each other. One of the great things you're going to find out, Kathy, that's really spectacular about what we're doing by interviewing other people is that by sitting across from people who are sharing this kind of gorgeous work and enlightenment, we're like sponges. So we get to be in school like every freaking day and learn about all types of stuff. So for the last couple of years, I have been blessed to literally interview some of the coolest people on the planet. Some you've heard of and some you haven't, and that never matters. I I go with my gut, and in fact, I could even share an experience I had yesterday and
Oh,
last night
perfect.
about going
Perfect.
with your gut
Okay,
and what that
perfect.
looks like.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I noticed this person who has this event coming here in San Diego called the Love Wave. I also noticed that there's like three people that are speaking at this event that I've interviewed as well. I mean, one of them I know her pretty well. She lives in Canada, but the other two I've interviewed. I don't know them super well, but I absolutely adore these guys and they live here in San Diego. And I'm thinking, oh, this looks so cool. Yesterday, so I friended the guy who's doing it, who's doing the Love Wave. And I was like, his name is Joe. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this guy's posts. I love what he's about. That talent thing again, just that thing with Spirit. So I clearly hear from Spirit yesterday that I am to contact him. Oh, but it doesn't happen that way. Hang on. It happens first with me seeing his questions on his Facebook page, and they were so freaking good. One of them was, what is your biggest pet peeve? And I thought about that. And literally Spirit just comes through like, I have to answer this. I thought, what is my biggest pet peeve? And I said complaining. And in fact, even complaining about complaining is feeling extra peevy. Right? Just the idea that I'm like, wait a minute, just the idea of it is feeling pet peevyish. It's like, wait a minute. And I answered a couple more, which is not my norm. I don't normally have enough time I'd love to be able to go through and respond to people all day long, but I can't. This one was just different. And then I hear from Spirit that I'm supposed to message him. And I'm thinking, okay, so I message him. So then it's like, dude, I know you and I probably need to chat. How are you? Are you down for that? He doesn't know me from anybody. Okay. So then he's like, yeah. Well, what's your schedule? Well, I'm free tomorrow afternoon, but I'll tell you what, I'm also free tonight. So then we wind up having a 2 hour Zoom last night.
Wonderful.
This is about going with your gut and going with intuition. The fear of not of rejection is what would normally have stopped me before in the past.
Right.
The fear of that. But what's been happening for me lately has been, I see so many people coming down with these huge diagnoses, cancer and illnesses and life-changing tragedy.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've got to change my life and live it differently. Why are we waiting?
Right.
And the fear that would have stopped me before is what I wasn't going to allow this time. And mostly because this isn't about me. This
Right.
is about the opportunity for
Right.
all of us to be able to share messages. This is also a
Perfect.
this connection with him was killer. And you know why? Because he speaks the same language. The love wave is all about love. It's all about love is all that there is. And it goes right in line with all that we are all talking about and teaching. So truly it's going with your gut, and what you're doing is going with your gut. And so when you ask how do you get them, when you feel it, Kathy, you say it. I'm feeling you, man. You need to come on, just like you did with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You went with your gut. Boom. I
I
don't
have
know you,
no
but that's
fear.
okay.
The thing is, I think is what happens is, well, first of all, I want you to know Karen Palmer's here, and she put "Good morning, beautiful ladies," and then she put "Divine Connectors," which is thank you, Karen. That's so sweet. And then Zach Bergen's here, and he said, "Overcoming fear of rejection is far worse to not know forever than to know immediately." There we go. So anyway, I think there's a
Nice.
bit of pause between us. But what I'm seeing is that you're answering the call. That's what I love. I love what you're doing because I feel like I'm doing my version of it, where there's a call right now. 2020 feels like it's gonna be fantastic, even though it is an election year. But but I mean the conversations that well, the conversations that people are having now are real. It isn't this superficial stuff. It's really everyone wants to have peace. Everyone wants to have love. Everyone wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
Right. So I put up your
Absolutely.
Facebook page here too. So can you tell people about Spirituality Gone Wild, your Facebook page, and how they can play there with you?
Oh gosh, yeah. Spirituality Gone Wild. Well, Karen Palmer, she's the co-founder of Spirituality Gone Wild.
Okay.
And I love you, Karen. You know I love we have several different hosts that do different shows. And it's phenomenal. And you can follow any of us on there. And I do Cup of Grata, which is a cup of gratitude. And that's a shot of expression, 2 squirts of reality, and I have co-squirts. And oh, I
That's,
love that. Wake up and
yeah,
be, I
it's
love
not a
that.
cup of gratitude. It's a bucket.
It actually, it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I love that. I do a lot of things now. Love coaching with Scott Katamas, and I teach gratitude. Gratitude alchemy life experiments are what I do with people, and energy work, and all of those great things. And so one of the pluses to Spirituality Gone Wild is that um, is this beautiful opportunity for me to also expand what I'm doing with so many people. Like I get to have fun. Sometimes I'll do like a group healing just on the cuff just because. And it's just so much fun to work with people and share how to work with your energy. What Spirituality Gone Wild's about is it's a different flavor. Joe and I were talking about this last night. It's like 31 flavors what was up, knew what was up. 31 flavors, okay? Because everybody has a different palette. Well, it's the same
Right.
thing in spirituality. It's the same thing in healing our and actually I really it's more about the messages that we all hear. How we perceive them is different for everybody. So
Right.
why not provide a smorgasbord of opportunity to see what works for you? And that's what life experimenting is about. Where this shouldn't be so downtrodden hard and gut ripping. It shouldn't. Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. That's a reason to appreciate and be grateful for it. And when you go to Spirituality Gone Wild, then you can see all of these different modalities and things and life experiences from other people who are going to give you hope. And that's really what all of this is about, is that we're giving each other hope, that there's hope on the other side of the bullshit that we've convinced ourselves is real.
Right. Right.
Excuse my mouth.
No,
I
that's
forget I'm not on my own show.
That's perfect. I find myself a lot of times it's like, what if I didn't? So I'll make a statement in my mind, like, well, that's just the way it is. And then I go, oh, what if that wasn't right? What if I could flip that? And then all of a sudden you go, oh, that's so liberating. I prefer that. Right. I mean, it's a time to question all of
Exactly.
the attitudes.
Agree. And to me, cultivating. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go, please.
No, you go ahead and ask me that. You go ahead. I just rant. I start on rants. So go ahead and ask me your question,
Okay,
sweetie.
so I want you kind of quickly went through what you do, and I'd love for people to be able to connect with you and work with you. So if there's, could you go a little bit deeper into what you do? I know you're a giver, you're a lover and a giver, but I want to see also how we can support you.
I love that you're asking that question. And I'd like to let you know something. Rock your spark, young lady, because you can't know or see anything inside of me that isn't part of you. So you are a lover and a giver. And thank you for being a beautiful mirror.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does that feel?
Makes me cry.
Well, I love you.
Thank
That's
you.
what I do.
Okay, next. Well, no, but
Gratitude
I really
moment.
want to
Gratitude tears. So
huh?
when you want to know what, so if you really want to know what I do, that is what I do right there. What I do is I remind people of who they are, sweetie. I do teach many different techniques using gratitude and cultivating, and we do many different experiments and practices. And I have the Gratitude Alchemy experiment available right now. It's 21 days. Karen Palmer, actually, she and I are getting ready to launch a new one for 2020. But for right now, you can go to gratitudealchemy.com.
Okay.
You can schedule with me. You can do one-on-ones. You can do healing sessions. And I love your gratitude tears. I love your authenticity right now. You are gorgeous. And to
What was
work
it?
with me is super
Gratitude
simple. All you need to do
alchemy?
is either message me on Facebook,
Was it alchemy? Gratitude alchemy?
gratitudealchemy.com.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put it in the
Yep.
chat here.
And thank you. I love that. So yeah, the 21-day gratitude life experiment is about being your own life scientists. It's about really exploring the different ways of maneuvering the human experience with using your gratitude net, with using all the different ways of like we go over the emotional scale. I do introduce compassionate communication during this process because it's something that I uh, absolutely am very passionate about. It's from Scott Thomas has been my mentor for a couple of years, and I'm officially stepping into Love Coach Debbie shoes as we
Ooh,
speak.
ooh.
It's been yeah, I'm deepening. I went from without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark, taking classes and all of these other things to really making a decision. I wanted to step deeper into connection coaching, where we're really learning how to connect with ourselves and learn self-love and learn how to communicate differently. And that's really what, because there's a big key here. It's like everybody, relationships is something we all have, but
Okay.
communication and miscommunication is the biggest downfall for every single relationship. There's a different way to do it, and I'm doing it differently. Karen Palmer is just as proficient in compassionate communication as I am. She's also been through nonviolent communication training through Marshall Rosenberg's teachings. This is something that we know by our own practice that it absolutely changes your life when you learn how to communicate with yourself differently. Because this whole journey, people say all the time, Kathy, well, what's my life's purpose? It's very simple. It is to fall in love with yourself and then
Right.
to be that heart print on the planet
Right.
because you have.
Right. 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 Well, and to shine that, because the it's almost like a hero's journey to me, where when you go through the darkness and clear it out or accept it, really, if you can't, you don't really clear it, you just accept it and work with it, because it's a gift too. But you become an example of a way to show up like that for others, so that so more
Yeah.
people have these kind of shows on Facebook, or more people will do free teachings and spread the love. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I love what you're throwing out there, Kathy. That's it right there. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, being the example of it. It's not that hard, but it's
Yeah.
courageous. It is courageous.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. It takes it, but the courage, the fun part is this. And I was thinking about this last night. It's like, again, back to, if today was your last day on this earth,
Yeah,
how do you want to live it?
right,
And why are we waiting till we get knocked over the head with a damn 2x4 to start living our life with joy and happiness? The
right.
wind is never going to get here. It will never, ever get here. And in fact, the wind is what people say, well, I'm stuck. No, nobody's actually stuck. Fact is, in my experience, it's only, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. If I don't really want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And I have no excuse, and there is no stuckedness. There's called not movingness, or thinking that I can't do it, or something like that. So when we step
Well,
into, how do you want to be, how do you want this? If this is your last day, what are you going to do to rock this world, leave heart prints, and live your life with true happiness, right from where it sits, regardless of your external circumstances?
right, right, right. Well, that's what this show is called, Conscious Business Zone, because these are conscious choices that people can make to really shine. And each person is there. Everybody's journey is needed. Everybody's journey is important. And once they realize that, and they can make a better choice to show up in a better way, the world's going to be a much better place. It seems like I know the news only wants to talk about the bad stuff, but like you and Karen are constantly talking about the good stuff and fun. It's much more fun.
Absolutely. And, okay. So, and when it comes to business, all of these things that we're talking about can be applied to business. If
Exactly.
you run your business with integrity, be impeccable with your word, you show up authentically, without excuse, without anything, just show up authentically and be real,
Yeah.
and do your best. Do your best. But those are the key components to that. People, process, product. Get the people down first, because if you don't get your people down first and then your product doesn't really matter what you got, honestly. And that comes from Marcus Leonomus, who's a multi-billionaire, the prophet, as a matter of fact. And I love Marcus Leonomus's work, and I love what he puts out there, which is one of the reasons he's one of the mentors I follow when it comes to business,
Oh, okay.
because the people are the most important. And conscious business, coming from a space, a heart centered space. So I believe in gratitude intelligence, because gratitude intelligence is using the 40,000 brain cells that are actually in your heart. And when we use our breath and we connect our actual frontal cortex with our heart brain, we get the heart brain coherence, which Dr. Joe Dispenza, of course, teaches about all the time.
Right,
But
right,
there's really some truth in that. And in business, if you're stuck in a thing and you don't know what to do, then put your hand on your heart and get into mind
right,
and heart coherence and make
yeah,
your decisions based from there.
right.
Because if you're like, let's say that, well, something happened and you screwed up, but you don't want to tell your client because you're afraid your client, even though it hasn't caused a major riff or anything, but you're afraid your client is going to get really pissed and it's going to blow the entire project out of the water. Oh, well, if you then go to the client and you're honest, even though it hasn't caused a major hiccup, but you're saying, this did happen and I want to bring awareness to it, what you're doing is you're instilling the trust that's needed and necessary
Right.
in decision making between you and your client in the future. This is why being impeccable with your word is so vital. If
Right.
you've overextended yourself and you've made agreements to do things because you're a yes person and you don't know how to say no when you actually mean no, well, let me tell you what, this is what you're going to do to back out of it.
Right.
What you're going to do is you're going to contact that person and you're going to say, I need to have a really vulnerable conversation with you. I need to talk about this agreement that we have, and I need to talk about it where I'm at today versus where we were at when we had the conversation, because things have shifted. And
Right.
be honest about it and say, I don't feel like I can meet that agreement. What else can we do to make it a different agreement? Or how can we change this so that everything's comparable? They're not being hurt, you're not being hurt, but there's also no resentments being built, because we all know when you do something you don't want to be doing, what's going to happen? You're going to
It,
be hating. You're going to be hating all of it.
well, no, I just see.
And
I
then you're going to be blaming. And then you're going to be back to victim syndrome. And you, yeah.
Well, I find because I actually put in tension in all the projects I do, and so I have to be in the right frame of mind or else it
Yeah.
fails. So I'm actually infusing frequency into work. So if I can't get in the right mindset, they don't land at all. It's like a art guaranteed flop.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I love that you brought that up. You're talking about vibrational resonance,
right,
harmony.
right, right. Well, I and alchemy really. That's what I like to do.
I love you. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you
Well, I
see?
think I'm loving what you like to do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So how do you see 2020 for you and what you're saying? I mean, you're seeing more collaboration and more co-creation. Are you seeing anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm seeing this. A lot of these things that Karen and I have been talking about, along with a lot of other people, about taking spirituality gone wild on the road, on tour.
Oh, cool.
I'm seeing collaborating with other people and helping their dreams come true, and just continuing to go forward and leave heartprints on the planet and showing up as the universe brings it in and brings it forward. Knowing what the vision is and knowing how to do it or not, I'm stepping forward in some spaces where I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, and I'm like, well, universe, if you want it done, then I suggest that you send the know-hows, because I don't know the hows. And Karen and I have these great conversations all the time with, we don't know the what, the why, the where, the when, or the how, and we're good with that. We're unattached from the outcome. We practice the art of non-interference, and we let that shit go.
That's
So
great.
yeah, 2020 is going to be full of reaching a lot more people.
Wonderful. And
I do
on
have a
the road,
big
I'm in
announcement.
Boulder. So if you ever want to come to Colorado, you have to let me know.
Oh, that would be so rad.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
I
Kathy, my son
I'd like
Christopher is getting
to
ready
bring
to start.
to San Diego, so we can maybe figure that out. So
I think that would be great.
yeah,
I'm sorry about I apologize for my delay.
it's all right. It's all right. So so when you're doing spirituality gone wild, you've created shows, right? Where each there's different people that host the
Yeah.
shows. How did that work?
Yes.
How did you do that?
They have their I had my Facebook page, and Karen would come on and she'll do her segment and I'll do mine, and Jay Rothman comes on and does his, and Dave Vargas comes on and he does his. It basically is, they run their own show, but we're all doing it on this community network so that we are able in community as a collective effort to hit more people. See, we could all go at this as one and as an individual, and it's going to take a lot longer. But when we can work together collectively in conversion with each other, co-creating, we can make magic, real magic happen. Because where you say we're two or more gathered, but well, when you've got 8 or more, or 10 or more, or hundreds of more, or thousands of more, you can make real serious magic happen. And I
Right.
love that you are co-creating with intention using frequency. I mean, it's all of this, that's what it's all about.
Right.
100%. I have
Right.
one last thing before I have to get going. My son Christopher is going to be starting a new show called Realistic Recovery on
Oh,
Spirituality Gone Wild. So it'll be on that platform too. And
wonderful.
Kathy, definitely, I need to book you on. I'm going to book you on Cupagrata.
Well, I'd love to do it because I have a summit coming up in January called the Co-Creative Awakening Summit. And in fact, I should talk to you about that when we have time, you and Karen, about it as well. But I'm going to be doing 4
Sure.
summits this year in 2020. The next one will be in April. First one's in January, and they're really to launch these people. That's my platform, is used to launch people like you to my audience. So that's my hope, is to get a whole bunch of people out there as resources, as all of the old ways start to appear in their truth, and people are looking for new teachers
Yeah.
and guides. I'm hoping that all of you guys will be
Yep.
visible and resources, so that this change can happen. It can happen so fast now.
I'm pretty excited about that. And I love what you're doing, girl. That's
Yes,
the way it works. So I'll send you my calendar link later, and I'll get you booked on Cupagrata. You come on Spirituality Gone Wild. We're going to
great.
learn all about what you're doing. I
Okay,
want to thank you. I've got to roll out of here. I've got to be at my next appointment by 10 a.m. And so but
okay.
I want to tell you that I have had an absolute glorious time with you this morning. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
my pleasure. I will play. You know we will. We'll figure out a way to play, because the
You
energy is
got it.
just it's so delightful. But I didn't mean to cry during your interview. I didn't know I would. But
I
anyway,
absolutely love you.
thank you.
You know something?
Huh.
I got to tell you, I do. I make people. I always go, yeah. I make people cry. What do you do? We make people cry. It's gratitude tears, though. See,
Right,
that's the thing. They're not sad tears. They're gratitude tears, because you're connected back with the knowingness of who you
right,
are.
right,
And also, it's the fact that we see each other and ourselves, and there's a beauty in that.
right,
So I want to
right.
thank you, and I wish you a day full of gratitude,
Uh,
wellness, and positive momentum, along with, let's make the intention to go forward with unconditional love to the best of our ability. Who may we be of service to in gratitude? I
thank
love you guys.
you, dear. Bye bye. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye, sweetness.
Bye.